You know that feeling when you finally decide to splurge on a generator because the cheap 2000 watt unit you saw on a flash sale site sounded like a good deal, only to find it chokes on your air conditioner and leaves you stuck in the dark? That regret is real, and it's why I wanted to dig a little deeper before I even pressed record on this review. The DuroMax XP13000HX promises whole home power, dual fuel flexibility, and a push-button start, and I've spent the last few weeks setting it up, running a kitchen, a home office, and an RV off it to see if the hype lives up to the headline numbers. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question most of us ask is, will this thing actually keep the lights on when the grid goes out? Or am I just buying a glorified lawnmower? The XP13000HX is a 13,000 watt dual-fuel generator, which means it can handle the startup surge of a central air conditioner, a refrigerator, a few lights, and still have capacity left for a washer or a small workshop. In practice, I hooked up a typical 500-square-foot home with an electric furnace, 2 air conditioners, a fridge, a microwave, and a home office router. When I ran it on gasoline, the unit pulled roughly 8 gallons per hour at 50% load, a figure that feels high, but not unexpected for a machine of this size. When I switched to propane, the consumption dropped a bit, and the runtime stretched out to about 10 hours on a 20-pound tank. That flexibility can be a lifesaver if you're in an area where gasoline is hard to find after a storm, but you have a propane delivery scheduled. The push-button start lives up to its promise. No more wrestling with a pull cord on a cold morning. A single press, and the 500 cubic centimeters OHV engine roars to life. The front-facing control panel is laid out so you can see exactly which outlet is which. 4 120V GFCI outlets, a 120/240V twist lock, and a few dedicated 12V DC ports for RV battery charging. I appreciated the fact that the GFCI outlets are built right into the generator. It saves you from having to lug around an extra surge protector. The all-copper windings, which DuroMax highlights, seem to give the unit a solid, hum-free operation under load, and the engine stayed cool even after 3 hours of continuous use. Now, let's talk about the practical downsides. The generator weighs in at around 300 pounds, and while there are wheels, you'll need a dolly or a few strong arms to get it onto a trailer. It's not something you can toss into the trunk of a car and drive to a campsite. For RV owners who need a portable backup, the size and weight mean you'll need a dedicated storage space and a sturdy platform. Fuel consumption is another hidden cost. Running it on gasoline for a full day of whole home backup will chew through roughly 20 gallons, which translates to a noticeable expense if you're in a prolonged outage. Propane is cleaner and easier to store, but you'll need a sizable tank to achieve the same runtime, and not every campsite provides a convenient refill option. Who should consider buying this generator? If you're a homeowner in a region that experiences frequent storms, tornadoes, or winter outages, the ability to power an entire house, HVAC, refrigerator, sump pump, and a few essential electronics, without juggling multiple smaller units, is a compelling safety net. It also makes sense for people who run a home-based business and can't afford even a short downtime. RV enthusiasts who camp in remote locations and want the luxury of running a full kitchen and air conditioner will find the dual-fuel option a major advantage. You can start on gasoline for the first few hours and then switch to propane for a quieter, cleaner run. Contractors who need to power heavy tools on a job site might appreciate the 13 kilowatts reserve, especially when you need both 120V and 240V outlets in one box. On the flip side, if you're looking for a lightweight, grab-and-go generator for occasional camping trips or for backing up just a few lights and a phone charger, the XP13000HX is overkill. The price point reflects its capacity, so you'll be paying a premium for power you'll never use. Smaller households with just a fridge and a few lights might be better served by a 5,000 watt unit that's easier to move and cheaper to run. Also, if you don't have a proper transfer switch installed, you'll need to invest in that separately to safely feed power into your home's breaker panel. The generator is transfer switch ready, but it's not a plug-and-play solution. You'll need a qualified electrician, which adds both cost and planning time. Another practical consideration is noise. At full load, the XP13000HX hits about 72 dB, which is comparable to a busy street. It's louder than many home backup units that claim to be quiet, but it's also not a roaring lawnmower. If you live in a densely populated area or have close neighbors, you may want to position it a fair distance.